Alright, so basically I don't really make these types of videos, but I kind of wanna. What's up? So I just wanna give my opinion on Tekken 8 Jin and his overall kind of, not his strength, but his character difficulty. Compared to Tekken 7 Jin, he's definitely a lot easier to play, but I still think he's somewhat of a difficult character as you go into higher ranks. Right now I'm Mighty Ruler, not that it really means anything, but yeah, I still think Jin is somewhat of a difficult character for a few reasons, but before I get into why I personally think he is still somewhat difficult, I just want to go over what makes him a lot easier in Tekken 8 than Tekken 7. So first of all, down 2, I can't go, you can't go one match without a Jin doing this move. So this move, 22 frames, so it's barely seeable. It's technically reactable, but you know, 22 frames. So you're going to get clipped by this. On counter hit, it launches into a full combo. And it high crushes, and on block, it is only -14. So, not everyone gets to launch this move. So this is probably the biggest reason why Tekken 8 Jin is definitely considered not as difficult as Tekken 7 Jin, just because of this one move right here. It really just becomes kilo. You really, it's +1, yeah, which is really good. There's other lows like down 4 -1, down back 4 +3. This down back 4 has better range and only +3, but you can do like 4-3, or if they keep mashing on there, 4-3-1, right? Which makes down back 4 a decent low option. Down back 4 doesn't hit grounded opponents for whatever reason. Down 4 does. This is like clearly meant for chipping people out, but down 2 is basically a kilo because just the risk reward is generally in Jin's favor when he does press this button. And yeah, there's not much I really need to say. It crushes highs. And yeah, next 4-4 counter hit combo. Very easy in this game. Before in Tekken 7 you'd have to instant while standing there. And you'd have to input, what's it, Zen, and then run out of it after you get this. So on counter hit, Tekken 7, forward, Zen, and then you do an instant while standing 4, and you have to do back to 1 and do 4 to bound. And your ender would have to be weird just because of how it did bound them. So in this game they made the forward counter hit combo really easy. You can just run up into it every single time. It's not even a good combo that I did right there, but you get the point. The forward combo is super duper easy. So those are basically the 2 reasons why. Actually, no. There's one more reason. Breaking step electric. So Jin got a new stance in Tekken 8 called breaking step. This allows him to access crouch dash moves with just a press of a button. So whenever you go to Zen, you hold down forward, you go into breaking step. Breaking step gives them electric no matter what. You don't have to time this at all. Which is, on paper, this sounds really good. You don't have to time a just frame move at all. But you're forced to always, you know, you're forced to kind of be predictable. This does have evasive properties. Jin does crouch down. But this is generally just slower than throwing out a normal electric. Because you can't really use this in neutral. If I'm not at the wall, or I'm not pressing like 4-4, cancel into this, you know, I don't know, while standing 1-2, cancel into breaking. Any moves that go into Zen, other than this, in like breaking step electrics, in my opinion, honestly are not good. Sure, you do get the full combo, but like if you try to do something like that, first of all, that doesn't work. I think what you can do, hold on. Oops, sorry, I don't use breaking step. But yeah, I think you can do something like that and get the electric. But generally, why doing electrics by themselves is better. You can access them as out of a crouch jack. Already really good, you know, plus on block, right? You can realign yourself while doing this, it becomes unpredictable, and when you do them normally, you can do them from movement. So I think that just really makes learning normal electrics really good. Right. It's just, I don't see a reason like why breaking step, it's not bad for pressure when you cancel into Zen on hit or block, but when you can't use breaking step electrics to replace normal practical use of electrics. That's the thing. It does have evasive properties, so maybe if you do have a very big read, maybe that could be a practical use, but other than that, I don't really think breaking step hit electrics. Another reason, I just want to go over this, because people really I've seen people complain about Zen stance. I don't think the options are really too crazy out of Zen in this game. So, sorry. Zen 2 is a high-powered crush. That's a heat activator. Zen 3 is just as well as standing 3. Zen 4 is a dive kick. This move isn't bad. It's +2 on block. You know, he literally goes into the air. That's really good. Zen 1, just a mid check. Zen 1, 2, and Zen 1, 3 are just combo enders. Zen up 1 is one of those moves. So this has basic properties. And can lead to big damage situations like that. Right? So if they happen to mash a get up kick, Jin can spike them back down and do CD1. Zen up 1, this can crush mids. It's very possible, but it's not like AOP from Xiaoyu. This is -16, so generally if a gym player is trying to punish you or crush you with Zen up 1, they have a read, and if they are taking that huge risk to try and crush you, it's generally a very fair risk reward. The reward is you get launched, and the reward for sorry, the reward for you if you block Zen up 1 is you launch them. So it's a pretty fair trade-off in my opinion. Next, I just want to say this character generally does have a pretty high skill ceiling. So he's honestly a great character to learn Tekken with, for the fact that he has good poking, good punishment, great pressure, and a somewhat decent 50-50. Hell sweep's a bit on the slower side, at 20 frames. Not bad. This Hell sweep does a lot better on the stage with the breakable floor, just because you can get a full combo from it. But yeah, Hell sweep isn't bad. Forward 2 is really good. 14 frames, heat engager mid, barely steppable. But one thing I will say about forward 2, this move has always been good. It's just really good in this game because of the fact it's a heat engager. It's always wall splat. It's just a heat engager now and can potentially lead to a full combo. But Jin is -8 on block, but it kind of depends how you do end up blocking it, to where if you can, because he's -8, he can't step, he kind of has to respect whatever you throw at him right after, but it depends on the spacing. So if I hit forward 2 from its max range, which honestly isn't that hard, like right there, obviously back to neutral. But if I'm right here, and say we're at the wall, then I kind of have to respect whatever Lee would have to do there. So going back to why I said he was like a great character, you have to learn kind of 2 different ways of playing Tekken. You have to learn your basic poking of Tekken, which he does forward 2-1, back 2-1, down 4, you know, pretty basic poking. Even pause, pretty nice for poking too. Good down forward 1 extension. Not a lot of the characters have good down forward 1 extension. This wall splats too. The down forward is 13 frames, which is always great, +4 on hit. So he teaches you really basic Tekken. And another reason why I think Jin is also a great character to learn Tekken with is because he also has Mishima stuff. So he has a crouch dash. So you can wave him. You can force a 50-50. although forward forward 3 is definitely super susceptible. The L sweep not as much, but it's still decently steppable. So I think though, not sure what side but you have a 50-50. You have electrics. You have a host. You almost have everything. Another thing that Jin does have is his parry. Compared to Tekken 7, the parry's actually been toned down. It is much easier to launch him during the recovery frames of the parry, unlike in Tekken 7 when Jin would just almost immediately start blocking after whiffing parry. So parry is a decent amount of a commitment now, believe it or not. Tekken 7 parry was not a commitment in the slightest, but now it is. So part of the reason why he has a high skill ceiling, it's not done as much in this game, but in Tekken 7, Jin players would do forward 4 into Zen and they cancel it, making it -1, and then they could immediately do that. It's still possible in this game, but you have to go breaking step and then press up back. So it isn't quite as fast, but you can still immediately block out of. Just in general, so learning electrics can take people quite a while, honestly. So that's one of the reasons why the skill ceiling is really high with the character. Learning how to use a large gallery of moves. You have moves for every situation. Yeah, decent homing moves. Not decent, really good homing moves, honestly. Not unfair, but just really, there's not really a move with this character that really shines out besides down 2 and forward 4. Those are like his objectively 2 best buttons. But other than that, a lot of his tools all have super specific scenarios that you kind of have to learn. Every move with Jin is like, with Jin, you honestly end up using at least more than half of his move list. And knowing the appropriate situation to use all of his moves in can be very overwhelming at first. It still is slightly overwhelming for me, even though I'd say I'm at pretty mid-level Tekken, very intermediate. I'd say I pretty much just got here past like 2 months of playing Tekken. Before Tekken 8, barely. I really think Jin is not as easy as he's made out to be at a low level before like red ranks, and even in red ranks, I really think he can just really get away with pressing down 2 every 5 seconds, just abusing health sweep. But as you go on, this character gets increasingly more difficult to rank up with. Of course, every character does, but I feel like he's one of those characters that like really make sure that you are playing your absolute best and understand what you are doing. Because he has great defense, he has a Sabaki parry, punch parry. He has good punishment, but if you cannot make the absolute best out of all your tools with Jin, you will not do well with this character. That's pretty much why his skill ceiling is so high. And I know I'm saying skill ceiling, which is hypothetical skill you could reach. You don't have to, but achieving a higher skill ceiling with this character generally helps him out a lot more than just being lazy and pressing down 2 and like, I'm gonna do a hell sweep and I'm gonna demon paw here. And no. Like, you definitely can make it to higher ranks if you know some other stuff. I'm not the best Tekken player ever. This is just my personal opinion on what I think about Tekken 8 Jin. So, thank you for watching. If I ever make more videos like this, then, you know what? Yeah, if I get eaten alive in the comment section, I honestly don't care. This is just my opinion. If you'd like to argue anything in the comments, feel free to. And yeah, thank you for listening.